cut this part out. I have to piss so bad, dude.
Thank you for stopping in. This is another episode of Broverwatch, an Overwatch podcast. Here today we have the Dank, the Drunk, the best tank, Riley, Gideon Turner. We also have the also always passing the checkpoint in the nick of time, definitely not in love with Diva, Nick Merriman.
Hey guys.
And myself, the only panda saltier than Chinese food you ordered at 3 a.m. on Valentine's Day, Eric Chunky Dunfield, and we'd like to welcome you aboard this drunk ship heading towards debauchery by the end of the episode. We're happy to be joining you and talking about this fantastic game that we love after 1 week of open gameplay in the real game. We don't have to say open beta, closed beta. We can just say playing Overwatch.
We don't have to say beta at all.
Yeah, fuck it. We don't gotta say anything. This is our shit, man. We can do whatever we want, and what we want to be doing is playing Overwatch, which we have all been doing one hell of a lot of. So boys, how's Overwatch been this week?
We're in. We can play as much as we want. We gotta be careful we don't get burnt out. I'm seeing people in there that are like level 80. I don't even know how that's possible.
I played with the highest level I've seen so far was a guy I played with today who was 69 and
all right.
But also holy crap, that's ridiculous.
Brian and I were playing last night with just the two of us, so it was almost a solo queue situation, and there was all these like level 50, level 60s, and they were so bad. So
right?
it's as if there's this layer of people who have been playing solo queue nonstop since the game got released.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about it being a skill-based FPS shooter is just because you put a lot of time into it doesn't mean you're any good.
And not even from the shooter perspective, but like from the teamwork perspective, right?
Totally.
Yeah, that's something that I've noticed, right? Like, teams that work together win. Like, I played on a couple teams where our friend group definitely has, like, a Rockstar FPS MVP on the team, but, like, if the team isn't playing together, like, yeah, that player will get a lot of kills, and their KDA will be nice and shiny, but they're definitely not cleaning the streets, and we're not winning. We're not putting a W on the board, which is all I'm looking for.
That's exactly what I've been finding too. Like, we've been lucky enough to play with the group of six a lot of the time, and we have a lot of good players. But even with the same guys, we've had nights where we are communicating, we're all feeling it. We got a guy shot calling, it's going really well, and we've had like huge win streaks, like seven wins in a row, and all like good close games, like not like bad matches. And then we've also had, on the other hand, some nights when we're just not feeling it, the group gets a little rattled, and it just doesn't cut it. Like, if we're not working together and not communicating, like what our MMR is at or what the community is at right now, like you can't win games like that.
I was playing a couple games earlier today, and it was just that to a T. In the first game, our regular shot caller had joined a group, but he was still just spectating it. And I was just playing Mercy and getting eaten alive by this Tracer. And I even went to group chat and was like, guys, someone please kill this Tracer. And I had a diva write back to me, to the Mercy, in group chat, why don't you do it? And it was just like, what? I'm a Mercy? What? And then the next game, when Mike got in there, who's like I said, our normal shot caller when we're playing together, he got in there, and that one more person on the voice comms working together with us made such a world of a difference. That Tracer stopped being a big problem because we could say to each other, hey guys, Tracer in the back, focus.
And when you're all kind of trusting each other, and I found that it's a game where there's a million ways to solve the problem and attack that point. And there's no right way, there's no wrong way. But if you're all doing your own way, it's not going to work. And if you if you decide, okay, Mike's the shot caller this time, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt, listen to what he says, and actually do it, you're going to do so much better than if you're just doing your own scattered plans, no matter what the plan is.
And I've noticed games where you announce that, like even jokingly, they go better. Because our group of friends will play and then someone may choose like 76 and just be running around doing whatever. But a lot of the times I'll joke after a good win. I was like, all right, shot caller Mike, what do I play this game? And he'll laugh and then like choose for us, and we'll fucking slay it. Like it'll do so well. And then there's games when the same shot caller's on, but we haven't like even kind of nudged that he's the shot caller, and enough people are off like chasing someone or just not near the point that like as a support you notice that, I think, more than any role, because you're trying to run to the group, but when your group is just spread out and everywhere, you don't have anywhere to run to. You can't run to the group because there is no group. And I notice it when you designate someone to be like, yeah, that dude is like running the show. It goes much better because at least you're following a strategy.
Absolutely. At least you're all together following a strategy. Because like any strategy is better. We had one in particular, Eric. I think we were both in there, where it was a good example of how you can get split. It was Route 66 on the payload, halfway through on the payload, and we weren't doing well. My strategy was to jump on the payload and just try to hang out there.
Right.
And then meanwhile, there's people in our back line, so half the group's calling like, hey guys, we got to take out these guys in the back line. And then half the group's like, actually, let's just go stand on the payload and ignore them. And either is an okay option, but you all have to do it, right?
And I will say it's never the support saying, hey guys, don't worry about the guys in the back line.
Even a bad plan is going to be better than no plan if you're all doing it. Like, straight up.
Yeah, because if that exact situation that happened, if there was a designated shot caller and that shot caller says, no, get to the point, I don't care how you do it, we're going to the point and we're doing it as soon as we group up. And as a support, I would be like, fuck, I can't play Mercy, I have to play Lucio because I've got to like out juke these guys so I can get to that front line.
And that's totally an option, right?
Yeah, but we had two shots called. One was like, please help me, and the other one was just go to the point. And then we split our party. Maybe one person went to the back line, 3 people went to the front and tried to help our supports. And there's no way you're going to win that 4v3 fight in the front line when they've got more people coming in too.
That was exactly how I felt on that match I was talking about earlier with the Tracer. I felt I had to go to Lucio because I couldn't do myself with the Mercy. But my team, as a whole, needed the like dedicated throughput of Mercy heals. So Lucio just wasn't cutting it.
Right.
So, but to be an active support, I had to be Lucio in that situation. It was such bad teamwork.
Mm-hmm. But we've had moments of really good teamwork this week too.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
There's and like when like a team starts to get it and they start to play together and just make like amazing coordinated plays where everyone's just for some reason doing the right thing at the right time, the game feels so good, man. Like, talk about a dopamine hit. That rules.
Yeah, those are the moments, for sure.
So I think we've all had a really great week in Overwatch. Some wins, some losses. I definitely went on a streak that makes me hate Widowmaker more than I already did. Even more. Just destroyed. But had some great wins too, so it was all fun.
I will say, there's one thing not about this week which has been nice, but I'm fearful for my week coming up. I'm sitting on a time bomb here, guys. I have a Blizzard Authenticator attached to my phone, and currently, after we recorded episode 1, I got drunk and I smashed my phone on the payload. So, whoops. Sorry, me. It's now totally non-functional. And the next time my Battle.net asks for my authenticator, I'm screwed. I will be out of Overwatch for 2-3 days while I contact Blizzard customer support.
I may have some good news for you, though. I've been so careful through all my phones to switch that authenticator. Even sometimes I'm not playing WoW for months at a time, and like I didn't actually need it, but I knew from your stories that how hard it used to be to like send them a picture of your driver's license and wait for 2 days. But recently, I also lost a phone on the beach in Mexico, and and I came home and totally forgot about it. One night, then we were hanging out with you guys, playing some Heroes all together in the same room, and was successfully able to get back into my account while... Oh, yeah, Eric, you were there.
Mhm.
I was able to get back into my account while fairly drunk, just using, like, the app or the help, the online help. So I think it's way easier than it used to be.
That's good.
Because now,
I
like,
think
you're...
it's a testament to how easy it is that you were so drunk you can't remember the steps you
I can't
took.
remember how I did it, but it worked.
But
I
you were
think it's
able
like
to do
they've
it.
got the phone number secondary verification now or something.
Oh, right. I did do that when I broke my phone a month ago. It's
So-
been a bad couple months for phones for me.
Yeah, it's the same, where they like send you the code and you put that in and
Right.
you're good to go. So
Yeah.
hopefully, good luck.
Yeah, good luck,
Yeah.
man. Stay in it. The world
Well,
needs
if you
more
guys-
heroes.
If you guys don't see me on Overwatch for a couple days, you'll know to come to my house because I'll probably be almost jumping off my balcony.
Good, it's only a
Well, yeah, we'll
second.
put a mattress down in the alleyway for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my week was good, and I learned something going on a losing streak. And it's not like, oh, I learned this awesome play about how to play my characters better. I learned that the community and the match types of Overwatch are just so well constructed that a losing streak in Overwatch can't tilt you as much as one bad loss in Heroes.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that.
Like I was playing Overwatch, had like a string of losses that I don't even want to tell you how many there were, and I was like, I'm feeling like shit. Like, let's go back to a game that I know how to play and I can play Heroes. So I log in and I go into one hero league. One dude dies, and like chat is just a string of obscenities about everyone. No one taking responsibility for their play, and not to toss too much shade on the game, but I went back over to Overwatch like immediately after, and I was like, wow, like at least I lost for 2 hours straight in Overwatch, and I couldn't even lose for 20 minutes in Heroes without it being toxic as all hell. And I think part of that's the fact we all play together, but it's also the fact that the matches are so short, and you only have yourself to blame because that's the only perspective that you have. And yeah, it just taught me that, like, man, like the way they've designed this game, losing doesn't feel that bad.
Yeah, I felt like a little bit of toxicity creeping into a match here and there in Overwatch. Like, even my hands aren't entirely clean in this. After that, like, I didn't do anything toxic, but I did call the guy out who didn't help me kill that tracer later on in match chat, and I was like, look, we easily could have won if people had have dealt with the tracer. The only reason we lost, I didn't do it in a like impolite or toxic way, but I was like, look, this was a bad move of our team. Do it better next time.
Yeah. Was this a game that you were playing Mercy? Were you playing a support on this one?
Yeah.
I got a feeling like this, like when you get slaughtered as a support, especially as Mercy, because she's got no real like recourse to take. She can't move faster. Her passive heal, she has to hide for a while, and her pistol,
it's terrible.
Is a last resort and not going to work against almost every character in the game. That I think this feeling that you're having happens to me a lot as well, specifically when I'm playing supports and specifically Mercy.
I would love to see a balance update, and this is coming from one match that I played as Mercy, so don't think this is like balance 101. Yeah. But why does D.Va get such a better pistol than Mercy? Mercy's pistol is like a fifth as good as D.Va's pistol.
Dude, D.Va needs that pistol, but
so does Mercy. Dude,
I love
Mercy.
Like every once in a while, outdueling like a tracer or a soldier with the D.Va out of her suit feels so good, so good.
Yeah, so it sounds like we've all had a pretty fantastic week, just slaying nubs and being slayed by nubs. It's been good. But I went on a losing streak. I'm definitely drinking tonight. So let's move into the what we're drinking and why section of Broverwatch, where we talk about a drink that we're drinking and how it relates to the game and the reason why it'll keep us on the floor.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah, like we're talking about groups and working together, and I think something we all know is groups of heroes, they get thirsty. And
heroes are often thirsty.
They're working hard. And I think they deserve a good drink. So this week, I got a little something special. We all watched the Hero Short a couple weeks ago. We're pretty familiar with the Shimoda brothers. And actually this week, more than ever, with Super Shimoda Bros. Am I pronouncing that right?
No.
How do you say it?
I think it's Shimada.
All right, Super Shimada Bros. Yeah, I know. I've been seeing a lot of dragons coming towards me across the map, and so I decided to go with something a little Imperial Red Ale, the Red Dragon Imperial Red Ale from Dead Frog in Kelowna.
Awesome.
Nick, this is too funny.
No.
No, it's not the same, but it's similar. It's almost like we're each one of the Shimada brothers.
That's funny. I've actually always thought that, but
Tell
Even
the
before I
world
knew it.
how you feel about the Red Dragon.
yeah, it's good, man. It's heavy, Imperial,
Love it.
8%. I like that it's local, brewed in local, but brewed in BC in Kelowna. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. It kind of tastes like getting hit by a good old dragon arrow.
I can't believe this is so funny. I went for a beer. It's not from BC. It's from Belgium, actually. It is the Gulden Draak, translating to Golden Dragon.
Another dragon.
Red Dragon, Golden Dragon. And I picked this one because this week I have been having... Last week, if you listen to the podcast, you'll know that Hanzo was one of my least favorite characters to play as, to play against, everything about him. But this week, I've just been killing it as Hanzo. I love Hanzo. Love everything about it. And I felt I would pay respect to him and drink the dragon's beer. It is 10.5%. Real strong guy over
Those
here.
Belgians know how to do it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You've been running the golden Hanzo skin? The dragon?
I've been thinking about it. I'm sitting on 1,650 gold right now, or credits, or whatever they are, and I just can't decide what to buy.
I hear you.
But I do not have any Hanzo skins currently.
And Eric?
Yeah, it sounds like you're pretty signed up to go grab one pretty quick. So this week we had a new comic come out with Torbjorn, doing Torbjorn type stuff, hating Omnics and building shit, as a Torbjorn will. If you've played against Torbjorn or played with Torbjorn, you are very familiar with his alt, where he screams Molten Core, turns into this fiery dwarf, and either gets your team all the kills by doing nothing, or...
Excuse me. He's Swedish. He's not a dwarf. That's one of his voice lines. He says, "I'm not a dwarf, I'm just Swedish."
Something must have happened in Sweden in the Overwatch universe. So he's got a lot of fire in his kit, where he kind of powers up that turret and just lays waste to teams and screams and yells and lets his turret do the work for him. So I let the wonderful boys at Sons of Vancouver, a distillery here in Vancouver, do the work for me. And looks like this drink will be powerful enough to draw the cops towards
Eric,
it.
Fire department is
coming
coming.
for you?
Yeah,
Fire
yeah.
department is coming. They know what you're about to open.
Yeah, so this is a vodka that out in North Vancouver, a distillery out there, and they brew one hell of a chili vodka. It's a vodka that they market as it's so hot it's gonna burn your face off, and they're not kidding. The downside to this vodka, because there is one, is that you can only use so much in your drinks because it is so spicy that if you pour an exceptionally strong drink, you are going to need some bread and some milk beside your glass. So what I did is I looked around in the fridge and I'm like, I can't drink this straight, so what am I going to do? I took some lemonade, some berries, and shook that shit up and just left it in the fridge for a while, and now I've got this delightful little spicy sweet cocktail with some strawberries and blueberries, some lemonade, and some spicy vodka, and it lights my face on fire
And
like
I
Torbjorn's
sure
all.
hope we're calling it the Molten Core.
Yes,
I
done.
will
This
serve that at my bar.
Cheers
called
to
the
that.
Cheers. Cheers to the Molten Core. It is definitely spicy hot, and I will be careful with my drinks throughout the show. You will
Yes.
probably be able to recognize the moment I have taken a swig from my Molten Core.
And if that cocktail isn't, perfect, I'd say we keep working on it. We make the Molten Core a real thing. Start
Yeah.
serving it at the...
I'm gonna, serve it at my bar every day of my life.
Also, not saying that we would serve drinks out of a hotel room at BlizzCon,
But we're going to be.
but
Let's be
but
real.
if you were to come to our hotel room and you accidentally fell into a drink, it might be a Molten Core or some other cocktails that we come up with on this show.
I love the idea of doing themed cocktails.
Oh,
And
hell yeah.
this is the perfect start.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we are now a little inebriated. We've talked about both the salt and the joy of our weeks behind us, and we are heading into the future and the news of around the world and the world that we love of Overwatch. And we've got a bunch of news, both esports, general news, community news to share with you. First one being, there's a new piece of media out there for your ear holes to be filled with. The soundtrack is out on the internets where you can stream and listen to it.
Yeah, we're gonna play a little clip of it right now.
Yeah, would you guys mind if we had a little dance party real quick?
Dude, all I do is dance.
Party is...
It gets me going. It gets me going, that's for sure.
It's great. It's gonna be one of my definite long road trip listens and stuff. But the details about it, it is $10.99 on iTunes, which is cool. It's not that much. If you have Apple Music, you can just add it to your Apple Music playlists thing, which is also cool. Yeah, it's very cool. I've always been a big fan of Blizzard soundtracks. I've had lots of them on my iPod, and it works. It's good.
Speaking of work, so at where I work at a kind of an office job, and I'm with about 8 to 10 other people, and I would say about 5 or 6 of them have now gotten into Overwatch. So one of the employees that's in charge of putting on music for just the office to kind of listen to during work hours put on the Overwatch soundtrack. And you should have seen the sweat pouring off the other developers and I as we worked as fast as we possibly could when that victory music is playing. We're like, oh my god, we have to get into this payload.
It's in overtime.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. Just in case my boss listens, I didn't do that much extra work, but I definitely did a lot of extra work just by that soundtrack. It's beautiful. You should definitely put it on your iPod. Go to the gym with it, stay at home with it, do whatever you need to it. Just if it's super private, don't tell us about it.
Yeah, I love it. I love that it's got that that overtime song. It's got all the stages. I wish they were a little longer. All the stage songs are only a minute or 2 minutes long, but you loop those. That's fine.
Totally.
And that's what they're doing on the stage, right? They're just looping, and you're too focused on the stage to just really notice that it's looping, right?
Yeah.
So
do you guys have any favorite tracks off the album?
I gotta say, just the overture. The overture, it gets me teary-eyed. It gets me going.
Yeah, it's a good one. I gotta say that Dorado song, man. Every time that map loads up, it gets me going, and now I can listen to it all day long.
Yeah, that overture is something. Every time I hear it, it feels like a theme park. It feels like you're just walking into a theme park. And it's part of the reason I love it so much. I'm like, holy shit, this is Disneyland. This is awesome.
I feel like Nick is going to be the guy just walking down the street with a rose between his teeth, just sauntering down with the Dorado music playing on loop in his headphones.
Or I'm driving to pick up my date, and that's the music.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can't understand the importance of the rose between your teeth.
Nice. Yeah, for me, it's Nimbani. That map soundtrack is always just gets me happy. There's the kids singing and I'm dancing. Yeah, it's so memorable for me. When I think back to some of the other ones, I can't think of Volskaya Indices or Lijiang Tower's actual song, but when I think about Nimbani, I just immediately think of that song and I just get excited. The soundtrack work in this game is out of control good. It's they've always, like you said, they've always had fantastic soundtracks, but I think this one in general just captures this bright majesty that not many other video games, especially FPS, really ever touch. And you're allowed to be excited and just really into this thing.
Yeah, there's one track called "A Future Worth Fighting For," which I think kind of sums up what you're saying, and they've talked about that as a theme for the whole game, and you can totally feel it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was looking at it on iTunes earlier, and it said it's a future worth fight for.
Maybe they changed it. Yeah, you're right.
A future worth fighting for.
Oh.
We're calling him out.
Yeah.
If you guys have it in front of you, sorry, I don't have it in front of me right now. What is the conductor's name on the composer?
Derek Duke. It looked like other people.
Yeah, there's a lot of collabs, but it's Derek Duke, and he's done an amazing job with it. Blizzard always gets great people to write their, like Russell Browder for WoW, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's like, is it Browder? Because I think Dustin Browder is the hero's dude.
Oh,
and
right.
Russell, I want to say Brown or
Maybe
something.
they're brothers.
I think it's Brower.
Brower, yeah.
They're half.
Sweet. Brothers in spirit.
Russell's, I'm sure he's listeling. Don't worry, man. We love you.
Yeah.
You're great. I listen to Totems of the Gristle Maw like every day.
Yeah, I got to meet him last year at BlizzCon, and I gave him one of the sweatiest palm handshakes I've ever given. So,
Derek Duke, you can come guest on our podcast anytime.
Yeah. Come hang out and say words once you take a quick peek with your eyeballs and ear holes. So it's out. Please go listen to it. Make your work faster and your boring times less shitty. I just about knocked the whole apparatus of our recording studio off my computer. Fuck you, Molten Core.
By the way, listeners, we are going to be doing a live stream of our podcast coming up in the near future. Probably not this one, but eventually we will be. And then you'll get to share with us those funny moments of where Eric nearly destroys his entire studio.
Totally. Yeah. All these little flubs, we edit them out. But you're here with us live. You get to see...
You see all the garbage that is Broverwatch, and the wonderful bits, too. This week we did have some more news. We had a new comic, Destroyer, the Torbjorn comic. What did you guys think of it? Did you guys check it out?
I did. Yeah, I liked it. There were a couple of the lines in it that I felt were a little weird. I couldn't arguably tell if they were a talking bubble or like a Torbjorn's thoughts bubble. And some of them were just worded a little weird. Maybe I was really tired when I was reading it, but I did like it. And sorry, go on.
Oh no, I totally know what you mean. I feel like they were mostly his thought bubbles, and it was definitely exposition heavy. Like there was a lot of text of him thinking. But I was into it. I loved his hazmat suit at the beginning.
Yeah,
right. So come on, Blizzard, hazmat suit Torbjorn. Come on.
I think it's you have to at this point.
Yeah.
I saw it and I immediately thought, like, holy shit, this looks like the monsters from Monsters, Inc.'s hazmat suits. And I really want a Monsters, Inc. crossover Torbjorn hazmat suit skin. I thought the comic was good. The comics are good. They're a nice addition. The stories aren't that strong for me in the last little ones. Like, this one was fun. It was a fun comic about a giant robot. Spoiler shit. But...
Sorry, go on, Eric.
Yeah, it was a fun comic about this giant robot, but it really felt like a little disconnected to me, other than like little hints at things that could be more interesting.
Yeah, I think. Do you guys think that super expositional storytelling to me always seems a little weak? We found out a few really interesting things. Like we found out that he helped design these robots initially, and then they were co-opted by the Omnics and upgraded and used in the Omnic War. And then this one's been upgraded again, and it's like this scientist, I guess, is using it for his own private use. But it's just the that kind of storytelling always feels a bit weak to me.
Yeah, and you were just saying about like the scientist guy. Obviously, he has some backstory with Torbjorn. It was a little bit like they built them together kind of thing. We got to see that Torbjorn does not like war profiteering. That was pretty cool.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I felt, because the whole time it was like an Omnic is doing this, an Omnic is doing this. And then you get up there into the robot, and it's just like, is this guy piloting it? Is this just like one crazy terrorist guy? Because he was in the robot. Is that an Omnic? I don't know. It just felt...
Right,
it was a little weird.
Like if the robot doesn't have any AI,
then it's not really an Omnic, is it?
Yeah, and even if it did have an AI and this dude is piloting it, like this must make like if you think this is this giant Omnic robot and you've got like this interesting story where Torbjorn is basically like an Omnic racist, where he goes in and then he's like, oh, I hate Omnics, like this Omnic thing is doing this, and then you get to it and it's your like this engineer that you know, and it just all of a sudden makes sense. Like there's an interesting story to be told there where you come to this realization that like you thought it was an Omnic, but it was a human, and that wasn't really addressed to me.
Oh, like that could have been
Yeah.
There's just a point where he was like, oh, fuck Omnics. This is my prejudice, and then it turns out...
Sorry.
Oh, then it just turns out it's a human doing that. That could have been an interesting revelation, but go ahead.
It seemed like he figured it out a little too fast. Like as soon as he built the turret in the hallway, he was just like, I know who it is. Blah, blah, blah. I know exactly who it is. And then I liked the comic, but it could have been, I think, building on his Omnic prejudice and stuff could have probably been a better story than introducing this new character that none of us know.
And I actually didn't read the whole Omnic prejudice stuff as much as you did, I don't think. That's interesting.
You just give a little rundown of it. Torbjorn created AI weapons and is very against AI weapons in a way because he thinks they could be used to like harm innocent life. So for some reason he has this thing about how he can use them, but nobody else can, but he wants to keep them out of the hand. He wants to use them to keep them out of everyone else's hands.
And a lot of the voice lines, I'll look some up for next week that are very particular to Torbjorn. He always just is really down on Omnics whenever there's one around. He'll always toss shade their way.
Totally.
And maybe it has to do with like that he's an engineer and he thinks he knows how these things work, and maybe he has a hard time seeing them as people.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of characters in Overwatch already do share that kind of ideology. I mean, Junkrat and Roadhog are totally against the Omnics after the whole story in Australia, which
that's okay.
They're totally against Omnics. There's a lot of Reaper has a lot of lines saying like just a bucket of bolts, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
When he kills Zenyatta, there's lots and lots of like the Omnic racism thing parallel is so crazy.
It runs deep, eh?
It does.
I expect that from Junkrat and even Reaper, but from Torb, one of the original Overwatch members, I wouldn't expect that kind of...
Well, you have to think that he is an old man, and he was like... It would be like an old man from one of the past wars in real life, you know? Everyone in this day and age has kind of forgotten about it, but and is like living peacefully with, hey, this is that thing that happened. The person who actually participated in it, they still got some hard feelings about it.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool how everyone's got their different perspectives.
Yeah.
Also, I think just the fact that he helped design those Titan class, and we got like that, we got the name, the Titan class Omnics, is cool because we know those are the ones that like. There's the one cinematic, the short theatrical trailer cinematic, where Diva's approaching one of those
right.
class
We are
Omnics.
Overwatch cinematic.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess those are the ones that attack Korea, and that's where they had their mecha program. So that's pretty cool that those are the same. Those are the same.
Yeah, so through the comics, we've learned the names of the Titan class Omnics and the God AIs, which is pretty cool so far. So I think the comics will still give us a lot of insight into the goings on of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so too. And even if it's giving us that extra backstory and filling in the pieces, like I'm all in on that. And one more little thing that I think has maybe been overlooked is Torby. Should we start calling him Torby?
Torby! I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Me and Torby are buds.
I mean, we've all been saying Torb. That's even shorter. Maybe
Torby
even
feels like I just want to hug him.
Torby.
Yeah. Torby.
Only his friends can call him Torby.
Yeah, it was a good comic. I definitely think that everyone should go check it out and just soak up all that sweet lore that Blizzard is giving us. There is definitely hints about some really cool stuff in there, so it is worth looking at. I think the art was a little stronger in this one than some of the other ones.
I think so too.
Which is something I really
when
enjoyed.
Put the shrapnel into the guy's foot. I like that.
Yes, I was gonna mention that. That was really cool. How it was like a slag that stuck.
Yeah, well, it even is in game when you're firing the single shots. You can go up to it and see the piece of like molten slag sticking out of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so cool. So not only do we get a new comic this week, but we also got some new merch in the Blizzard Overwatch store. You guys see any of that? You gonna pick any up?
I want the Winston plushie real bad, guys. I just want it. I don't even care. I don't know what I'll do with it. I don't know where I'll put it, but I want it.
Yeah, it's really adorable. It is really great, and I definitely want it somewhere. Opportunity missed at not making it the baby Winston from the Recall short.
That's very
I'm
true.
not gonna lie. I completely disagree. I'm over the baby Winston. I've got him as a WoW pet. Baby Winston's cool, but I like Big Winston. I like Big Winston more. I want to cuddle with Big Winston.
Wouldn't it make more sense as a plushie though, like life size, baby?
Oh yeah, because then it would be like 1-to-1 baby Winston.
But then, can I get a 1-to-1 Big Winston?
That's the dream. Yeah. When I was in
$2,000.
I was in Japan last year, and I went to the Pokemon Center there in Tokyo, and they had like these life size of all the starters. And there's something about it being life size, like a foot and a half tall, that like if you were a little kid and you had that Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Next level.
I'm really into. I really like all these minimalist designs for all the heroes on the t-shirts.
Yeah.
I don't know if
You can get all of those designs as hero logos and sprays.
Mm.
Just that out there.
Yeah, and they're really cool designs. I think my favorite has got to be the Winston one.
Totally. I have that spray as Winston. This is the spray I use. I love it.
Yeah, there's something about just the monkey graphic tee, the scientist graphic tee, that I think you could wear that and it would look cool, even if someone didn't know if it was an Overwatch shirt.
See, that's what I feel. Back when we went down to Heroes of the Dorm, I picked up the Overwatch snapback hat, and I love that. I wear that hat on a daily basis. I wear it to work. I wear it everywhere. And it's subtle enough that everyone's going to think it's a skate logo or something. Nobody's going to just know exactly what it is. But then I have had on numerous occasions me wearing that hat and someone be like, dude, sick Overwatch hat.
Mm.
You know?
That's awesome.
And I'm just like, that's super cool. Because it doesn't look like anything. It's not clearly something unless someone knows it's something.
Yeah, I think it's super important that the clothes are well designed in general. Some of the stuff, like there's a lot of really cool like WoW designs out there that I would totally get on a poster, but I wouldn't wear on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
I completely agree.
But there is I was looking through the merch, and the one that keeps calling me back is the Overwatch logo hoodie for men and women, where it says Overwatch on the sleeve, and it's just like on the breast there's the Overwatch logo. Yeah. And the zip up looks really nice. Like it's just like the sleeve with the text and that there. Like I just think the composition of the hoodie is really nice. That I could totally see myself wearing it, where it's not something huge and gaudy that I couldn't really put on. But that one in general, if I'm going to pick one up, it's definitely going to be that one.
That was kind of another thing that I found at Heroes of the Dorm. They had the Overwatch vests, which I loved. I loved them so much, but they were just a little too branded with it. It was like, you're going to have a lot, like, it was very Overwatch. I like just putting it out there. I love Overwatch. Don't want people to be asking me what is Overwatch all the time.
Yeah, are you sponsored, by the way?
Yeah, exactly. It does kind of feel like that, you know? It really does.
I agree. I love the designs that are a little more subtle and, like, actually good designs regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool to see them coming out with this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of the stuff is really good, and the more the better. And all I'm saying is, posters, in-game posters, give them to me sooner than later.
I am totally with you. I was looking again at the posters in the diner at the beginning of Attacking Route 66.
Yes,
some of them are so good. I mean, obviously, I think the crown gold medal winner is It's Never Too Early for Flapjacks, and it has like sun pancake as a sunrise. Hilarious. But then the other one that's like a long poster And it's got the skeleton holding a coffee cup, and it's just like, I'll sleep when I die. And it just has a coffee mug. Love it.
You know what I love about those is those are like the ultimate fan posters, because if someone came into your house and saw that, they would only know it was an Overwatch poster if they were a super fan, and that's perfect. And if they did recognize it, they would love it.
Oh my god, is that the poster from the game? Yeah.
Like the Diva Cola ad and the Winston Horizon Lunar thing would be great, but those like little niche posters from the diner would be just so good.
Yeah, that's next level. For me, the Horizon one is the big one I'd want.
Yeah, like they're such nicely designed pieces of work that it's a little sad to only ever see them as like small sprays that get barely noticed in the game. I totally want to pick some of those up too.
But you could like blow up one of those JPEGs and be like, "Hey, can you print this as a poster?"
Yeah, but we need the high quality artwork.
Yeah, you
right?
You need something with a pixel density that would look alright.
Yeah,
they've got to have some high res files though.
Totally. Yeah. I think it would be a really good move of Blizzard to like Blizzard makes Diablo 3 skate decks. They can make a couple of posters for Overwatch. They're going to sell them. If they can sell skateboards.
Yeah. So one other piece of news, I'm going to move this one up a little bit in our list of things to talk about, is just before we started up the show today, Blizzard tweeted that they're actually going to be start banning some accounts, or put up on their forums that they're going to start banning some accounts of people that have been proven to use aim assist. This is kind of an update on a story that we chatted about, I think, on our first episode, where Blizzard talked about like their plan to deal with cheaters, which is a straight up "you're gone, GG, get out of here." And it looks like they're holding true to that with sending out the first wave of bans for aim assist software.
Yeah, I'm totally with this. Eric, I don't have this in front of me right now. Do you have the numbers as to how many accounts, or have they released it at all?
No, I don't think they've actually released it. I think they've just they want to instead of just doing it silently, kind of show that they're actually doing something about it rather than just saying that they will.
I'm totally with this. I'd say anyone who's using a aimbot or aim assist or wall hack or anything, lynch them. Get them out of my game. I don't want them.
Totally.
Yeah, I'm
maybe
totally
not. I'm not totally with the lynching. But,
yeah, I wouldn't. I would just do it.
I'm totally with the get them out of my game. So it's 3 hours ago. We've recently taken action against Overwatch accounts worldwide, which have been found using cheat programs. We're committed to providing a fair and equal playing field for everyone in Overwatch, and we'll continue to take action against those found in violating our terms of use. Cheating in any form will not be tolerated. Read more about our stance here. And then just kind of a quick message. If you believe another player is hacking or cheating, or just a general bad dude, please let us know at hacks@blizzard.com. Just a small piece of information that Blizzard is out there with the ban hammers laying down accounts that make the game no fun for anyone else.
And
awesome. Honestly, yeah, if you want to waste your $60, waste it.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I was checking out a video earlier about showing kind of like what those, some wall hacks that you can do right now. That I'm not sure if that's what all the bans were for, but I guess there's websites out there already that sell software that you can install that goes and basically puts a full-time, like Widowmaker's Ultimate, but full-time, showing you just the position of everyone.
Oh,
so that's already watched the same video as you there, Nick. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh yeah, so that's already a thing that's in the game, and that's awesome that they're dealing with it and getting rid of people that are using that stuff.
Yeah.
It just sucks. Like, don't ruin the game for everyone else. Like, get good or GG uninstall.
I know. Can you imagine, man, going out of your way, buying the software? Well, maybe it's free. I don't know. Buying the software, buying an account, getting banned. Like, what? Did you have fun while you were doing it?
This is the thing that plagued me a lot back during my my Call of Duty days, in my old school shooter days, was just servers completely run through with hackers and everything. And because that game didn't have dedicated servers, sometimes your game would just connect to a hacked server, and then I would get like say one kill and level up to level 70 in one kill, and I'd be like, fuck. Well, now, what do? Do I contact Infinity Ward and be like, can you please put my level back because that was dishonest, or do I just take it? I was forced to be a cheater sometimes with those non-dedicated servers. So
Yeah.
thanks, Blizzard, for having dedicated servers.
Yeah, it's one of the huge benefits, hey? Like, they're controlling everything that's going on in there.
Yeah, and one thing to mention, the account that we talked about with the pro that was accused of cheating and pitchforked on Reddit, I think it was Surefloor off Cloud9.
Yeah.
On one of the soft pieces of software we're going to talk about later, Watcher.gg, which is a great website, we'll talk about it. Basically, it's like a hot slogs for Overwatch where it shows you a bunch of your standings. He's actually the highest rated player on there and absolutely destroyed it in a tournament this weekend that we'll also talk about. So he's performing in game, he's performing at LAN, so I think we can kind of set this to rest where I don't think Shift4 is cheating. He is just like the rest of Cloud9, complete monster at this game.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind when reporting people that, like, some people are really good at this game, and there's mechanics in the game to... We all know there's the 2 Hanzo and Widowmaker wall hacks already in the game, and also the footsteps.
The footsteps are a huge one, especially with, like, large surround sound headphones. I could, even with mine, I can tell exactly where someone is coming from me just by listening to them. And granted, if my mouse is tracking them exactly, that's a little shady.
Right, if you watch the kill cam and see that.
If you're watching the kill cam and someone turns to you before you turn the corner, it's probably because they heard your footsteps. It's probably not because they're...
That or what happened in comms, right? Like, just because someone is like tracks you when you come around that corner, I've oftentimes said as Mercy, Reaper is on me following around corner this, and then a teammate that's actually listening and pay attention will be sitting there with their gun ready to destroy this character because I've called their position out.
If you're sneaking up on someone as a Zenyatta and they track you real well through a wall, they're cheating. Zenyatta has no footsteps.
Yeah,
and there's a pretty robust report function in the game already.
Totally.
So if you actually think someone was cheating, feel free to use that.
So yeah, there is in-game reports and also out-of-game email reports. So if you think someone is cheating, report them.
Have you guys used that at all?
I haven't. I've watched kill cams and looked at other players' highlights who were destroying me, and it was on the edge. It was like, that guy, that like quick scope headshot off of a like Widowmaker grapple hook jump off was pretty unreal, but not too unreal to be believable.
Well, so watch some of Agents Rising. And,
I know, totally.
It exists,
and that's exactly the thing. I've watched these pro players play, and I've seen these incredible plays. So when someone does that against me, I'm not going to jump to the accusation of hacks. When someone starts tracking me totally out of the blue through a wall, maybe. And then, also the thing, if they shoot me this, millisecond I come out of the wall, that's a little ridiculous.
You could say it's up to the community, which segues perfectly into our next segment. We're moving past the old newsy tap news, and we're heading directly into community content. This is a section where we sit down, we chit and we chat, and we drink some drinks, and we talk about new content that's coming out, not from Blizzard itself, but from the community that surrounds this game. And we've got 2 points here that we're going to talk about this evening. The first one being an awesome post made on Reddit about some hero cheat sheets. Did you guys check this one out?
I did. I actually was reading that one at work one night on my phone, and I loved it. It was so helpful to me for a lot of things, and I just have it open a lot of times on my broken phone.
I just want to make sure we toss some delight in the right person's directions. This is by
Absolutely.
I come in blob.
Okay.
The Reddit user.
It's what the tag comes from.
You do you, man.
Yeah. So that is by that user. So please continue. I just wanted to make sure we toss some love with people creating content and posting stuff.
Totally. It's really helpful. It basically is laid out in a format of it has the hero that it's about, a little thing about what you should do and shouldn't do beside them, and then a box down below that says who can you counter using this and who easily counters you. So really helpful to just kind of hold open even, and like say you're playing Roadhog, just scroll down to the Roadhog page on your second monitor or whatever and see that, hey, these are your priority targets. These are the characters that are weak to you, especially if you're not a veteran player already who doesn't know these things just off the top of your head. It's really helpful to see who you have an advantage over.
I think the best part about this post for me was that it's not always effective against and weak against, because I've seen a lot of posts like that where it will just list the heroes, but it will give you specific information about what you should do to be effective with that character and how you should be careful around other types of characters. So, for example, in this post, I'm looking at Diva little card, and it's not effective against, it's get up close to, which is super helpful on Diva.
Right.
It's not just about, like, you'll be good against this one. It's like, you'll be effective against these characters because if you don't close the gap between you and Widowmaker, you're not that effective as Diva against Widowmaker because your range is spread. But if you get close to, if you can close that gap, throw your shield, and Rex on face, you'll actually be really effective.
That's a really good point, and that's a really good example. Because I think Diva is a really hard counter to Widowmaker if you do it properly, right? If you get up in her face.
Like, Diva's guns, just to get some numbers in here, I was reading about them earlier. Basically, they do like 5 damage per bullet at medium range. They fall off to, in a big spread, to 3 damage at low range. If you're shooting at a Widowmaker far away, you're maybe hitting her with 1 bullet per shot. That's 3 damage. That Widowmaker doesn't care that she's being shot by you.
Yeah.
Not at all. She has 200 health. What does she care about 3 damage here and there?
Yeah, but if you close that gap, you can end her real quick and force her to chain. So yeah, so this guide's great. It's got great advice for all the characters. I learned stuff about my mains, and I also learned stuff about stuff that has been destroying the main characters that I choose, and it also helps me with have a little bit more fun with new characters that I'm not that familiar with.
Yeah, I could see it being really valuable if your team is getting dominated by a certain comp or a certain character, and you know you need to make a switch. But when people are a little newer, you might know this isn't working, we have to switch, but you don't know what's the best thing to switch to. So reading this thing and just getting some ideas of what could be some good choices for those hero swaps.
Absolutely. How do you guys feel about the Carbot animation?
I thought it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched it before we started recording, and I just started laughing out loud. So.
Yeah. I'm a huge Carbot fan. I play all the Blizzard games. Like, I'm terrible at StarCraft. I'm stagnant at Warcraft, and I'm also terrible at Heroes. But I love Carbot in everything, and they just nailed it on the head. It's so funny.
He falls in a dumpster.
Exactly. And it's just so funny that it's just, he builds the turret and then just a Hanzo arrow in the face and just falls in the dumpster. And it's like this incredible play of the game.
Yeah, so for people that haven't seen it, it's like a little animated short. We'll link it in the show notes. Highly stylized. It's just like a minute long. Torbjorn's building a turret. It's the play of the game. And he gets taken out immediately. And then the turret proceeds to kill everyone while he falls in a dumpster.
It's
it hits so close to home.
I mean, like, Carbot's animations are they're very like goofy cartoon things, but of real game problems, and that's what it's based on. Is a lot of the time a Torbjorn will get play of the game, and you get this totally cool highlight intro of the Torbjorn play of the game, and it is him dying and running for spawn. Not even joking. That is 90% of the Torbjorn play of the games that you see is him running back from the spawn point.
Or ulting and then like just hammering a full health turret that no one's shooting.
Right? Totally. No, it's funny. And the Carbot always captures these real game things, and they're hilarious.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'd never seen this guy's channel before, but afterwards I was checking out a few of his Warcraft videos, and they were really good too.
They're so funny, and the Hero Storm is also just absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, it's really great. So we got a lot of stuff to discuss this week. First one being Metacritic has kind of collaborated and like mashed together in this weird mush of all video game websites, turning them into a package of love and body touching of the reviews of Overwatch. We are now sitting at this lump of 92, so it seems like it was good for all the people in that lump together. They all enjoyed it.
Wait a minute. 92 now?
92. We were at 93, but
it's gone down 93 since we started this podcast.
What?
It's gone down from 90. When I first looked at it earlier before we started the podcast, it was at 93. It's gone down to 92 during the duration of this podcast.
Guys, uninstall over what we've reached peak Overwatch, and it's all downhill from here.
Overwatch is over. Overwatch is over.
I don't think we should gloss over how much Eric is into his own lumps. That's what I got out of that.
Not my own lumps, like lumps of people, you know? Like, they're just so connected you don't know where one lump starts and the other one stops, you know?
Everyone's trying to get off. I mean, I don't have a good LSP. I don't know if anyone does, but...
I'll squeak it in when it's appropriate.
The one thing about this Metacritic thing that I was looking at, I actually dove in and looked at lots of the individual things. Some of them were in foreign languages. I couldn't read them, but I did a whole Google Translate on them. Basically, the big thing is it's content light. Everyone is unanimously agreeing that this game is great. If it was just about quick play, the game would be 98, 100. But unanimously, the weaker reviews, the lowest one that I saw was like a 77 or something. And its only like qualm with the game was it's content light. And let's be real, guys, it is.
Yep.
It totally is.
Yeah.
But it's fine because the content that it has is so good. And that we're getting more. We all know that. It's hard to rate the game, you know.
Yeah, and we are getting more soon, but the internet was quickly lit afire and ablaze with the news that competitive Overwatch was not coming until July, which Twitter, Reddit, and we're like, oh my god,
someone got fired over
that. Some social media intern is definitely not getting a full-time job at Blizzard after that one. I read that and I immediately thought, oh shit, like
I thought of delays when I read it. Like I was just like, no. I was so scared.
No, because I thought of Heroes and like, fuck, I'm tossing so much shade on that poor game today. But it had some problems, and the fact that like Overwatch is going to get competitive only 2 weeks after Heroes does is insane because that game has been out for over a year. Heroes has competitive now, but like the new competitive that Heroes is getting is, in my mind, where competitive should have been a year ago.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we're going to get a quality competitive straight out the bat. But what happened was it said July, but immediately or shortly after, Blizzard was like, guys, no, just kidding.
It was a typo.
It was a typo. We meant to type June, but we screwed up. We're so sorry.
That's funny. Because Jeff had said June in that past interview,
yeah,
right?
in that Facebook one.
And like June has been the go-to time for a while, for basically every interview since launch.
Yeah.
And to say July, it did definitely put it. But the internet goes into a uproar about a lot of things. So,
oh my god, I can't even go on the internet these days.
It was probably an autocorrect thing. Look, it's June, July. It's an easy thing to... Yeah.
Hey, no big deal on the mistake. I'm just so happy it's actually June.
Because
I freaked out a little bit, totally.
Because that would be a big deal if it was a whole month later.
Yeah.
I think we need... already after a couple weeks, I think we need it ASAP.
Yeah, we just want to try hard mode, man. We want to be seen as good at video games. So our team is ready. We are born ready to do this stuff.
I think we're ready. I think I think we still have a lot we can use these 2 weeks to like progress more. But I think we're ready for it.
Yeah, and
Speaking of, we are going to be starting a team, I believe. We're going to try to get a tag bro on it. So if you ever see us, you are playing against the actual Broverwatch podcast.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
ready.
curious to see how that's going to work if you get to do in-game team, like ranked team tags or anything like that.
In StarCraft, they have a really cool system of putting a clan tag in front of your name like that.
Oh.
So I think you should be able to. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully.
Like
We can all just change our battle tags now. That works too.
Yeah, and then our team gets just wrecked everywhere, and they're like, haha, this team is easy.
We have never claimed to be pro Overwatch players. We have actually actively claimed to be mediocre.
Pleb. We're the pleb league. Yeah, that's something I want to see out of this community. Heroes, one thing that Heroes does really right is there's a league called Chair League, which is like a non-pro competitive organized scrim team league. So instead of just entering into a queue, you sign up as a team and you have scheduled matches and people will come in and cast them. But it's for amateurs and it's a lot of fun and there's some really good press out there for it. So I'm just really hoping we're not only going to get a competitive mode, but the community will come together and put together their own kind of like Saturday night bowling league of Overwatch.
I think we are probably going to see a lot of stuff like that on Twitch and stuff related to Overwatch. Did you guys see the blue posts about the Diva and McCree nerfs? Diva buffs, McCree nerfs, potentially.
Yes.
We're not talking, these are not patch notes, not nothing. These are just blue posts on the forums.
They're thinking about it.
I think McCree needs a nerf. Like, watching pro play, McCree is out of control. People are running double McCree way too often.
See, here's I really like what they have posted about. You can look at George. Who's his name? Jeff Goodman, the balance guy.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look at his posts about it. I think he has a lot of good things to say about both McCree. They've been watching McCree closely. They don't want to touch the flashbang. The flashbang is integral to McCree's gameplay. It was even nerfed from early beta. They're looking at Fan the Hammer because it's just a little too easy to use that as your primary fire right now. Because McCree is a mid to short range hero, so you don't need perfect aim, which he has with his primary fire. So they're looking at maybe, I don't know, what I was looking at, some of the community things where maybe increase the spread of it, lower the damage of it, because he should still be able to like shred somebody apart with his combo. I think that's integral to the McCree like playstyle, and I don't think if you're expecting as a Tracer player to not still be flashbang Fan the Hammered, guess what? This nerf isn't for you. You're still gonna get flashbang fanned. But if you're a Reinhardt, maybe he's not going to be able to shred your whole health bar by throwing his flashbang above you.
Yeah, and that feels right to me. It should take more than one Assassin's One combo to actually rip apart a full Reinhardt.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Yeah.
To me right now, McCree just seems like a bit of a jack of all trades. Like when you're thinking about countering him, he's kind of good at he's just all around good at everything.
His weakness is movement. That's the biggest thing with McCree is he has barely any. He has his one short little movement dash on a 10-second cooldown. So his movement is his biggest weakness right now, and who knows? The game's been out for a fucking week, guys. It's hard
this game's been ruined forever. Meta is stale, guys. After a week, the meta is stale.
The Diva buffs. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to hear that because
I know you're a big Diva player.
Yeah, Diva's my most played, and I feel like I haven't been paying much attention to competitive, but from my experience, she feels like she's in a good place. So if she gets a little buff, I am very happy with that.
So what they've been talking about her buff is they're treading a line on Diva, as they could either go give her a little more damage. She'll be an in and out assassin kind of character. They're walking a fine line on that.
Yeah, like a tank assassin hybrid.
But give her a little more survivability. She doesn't quite fit. Like then she's a little bit too good. They want to make her a better engager, but it's hard to do that. Is it damage? Is it survivability? What are the fix on that?
Yeah, they had mentioned in this post that they probably weren't going to go for more damage.
Right.
Is that what you guys see?
Her damage is insane when she's up close.
Right.
Like if you charge in, booster jet in, melee attack, and then launch your fucking cannons on her, she'll tear you apart.
Yeah. So yeah, I wonder. I felt like her damage is adequate as well, and I'm curious what other routes they're going to do to try to make her a little bit stronger. What other options there are?
I think there's a few. Definitely, maybe making defense, even just like making defense matrix a little bigger.
A little bigger, or a little lower cooldown, maybe.
Lower cooldown. I saw some posts in the thread that were like, "That's a dangerous line to tread as well," because it can be used so strongly right now, as is.
And that's
Ferret
what,
that's her ult.
Yeah.
Boom, put a defense matrix on her. All of those missiles are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and that's what that's her part of the kit that we're actually seeing in pro play. Like we're seeing a defense matrix to close the gap to a bastion as Winston's run behind him, so they can get close enough to leap and kill the bastion. So I don't think the problem is necessarily with defense matrix. And to be honest, like there's some other characters that I think that are higher problems than Diva. I guess like at the highest level, like she may be one of the more lower played characters, but she does have a place too.
I mean,
Yeah.
these are just the characters that have had blue posts that have like official things. I totally agree. There are some characters, like I said earlier in the podcast, I think Mercy should have the same pistol as Diva.
Diva's pistol is quite powerful, though.
Diva's pistol is fucking beast.
There's times where you
Dude.
don't want to go back in. Where given the situation, you don't want to go back in your mech right away because
'Cause-
you're melting with that pistol.
Diva can actually play as like a pretty good flanker assassin. She's squishy as hell and has no escape. But if you're safe to do a flank and
Yeah.
she's got her pistol out, that thing can do some damage. And
Yeah,
I think
people-
Mercy should have that option too.
I think it should be close to the same amount of damage, but not quite as much, because Mercy has a lot of movement abilities. Her ability to fly really quickly, then jump and do damage. So I think if you give her almost an assassin type pistol, you've actually like overbuffed her a bit.
Yeah, you've made
I
her.
feel like Mercy's pistol right now is just lacking.
Yeah,
I
he's
could
like
see
hitting with a
somewhere in the
squirt gun.
middle. Yeah, because if you gave her that kind of power all the time, like Diva, you're sacrificing. When you're in that form, all you have is that attack, and
Right.
someone can sneeze on you.
And you're dead.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so there's definitely changes. Like they're paying attention to. I just took a swig of a molten core. And,
We can tell.
oh, is it hurting?
Core.
Going straight to the chest.
Can we ask
so,
now, an hour, like now that it's all settled in? How's the molten core, by the way?
Oh, dude, it gets a little bit more strawberry and berry flavors, just tickling my tonsils as I drink it down, and just dancing with my palate and making sweet, sweet love to my belly.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here. So another.
Have you played the Weekly Brawl?
Nope.
Super Shimada Bros?
Nope.
I have to tell you, I'm a bit of a professional. I take this podcast seriously, and I decided to do my research today. Played a couple rounds of Shimada Bros.
Oh, tossing shade. I played this.
Cut this part out. I have to piss so bad, dudes. I cannot sit here in this chair anymore.
Okay.
You were just righteously indignant.
Oh yeah, Nick had just tossed some mad shade towards me.
So I did play a couple rounds of this just to try it out, and I knew we were probably going to talk about it. It was not fun. Not fun.
Are
at
you
all.
kidding me, dude? I had such a good time with it. And it might be just because I've been loving Hanzo all week. I felt this was like a fun place to just try out the guys, the Shimada Bros, and, you know, don't worry about it. It's the one game type where I found, because when I'm playing a quick play, usually someone will take a Widowmaker, and then it's goofy to do a Hanzo as well. And in this one, I could just pick Hanzo, and you're just like, what? We have 4 Genjis. I'm going to play Hanzo. Who cares?
Yeah, I feel you, man. because in those quick plays, especially if you're new with Hanzo, you're not getting that many kills. You feel kind of bad taking the sniper spot. But in this, you just, hey, it doesn't matter. And you still get experience. It's not like a custom game. You still get account experience.
And I will say, I feel like there were some really good training exercises that I could do for my Hanzo because it's all Hanamura, right? So on capture point B, when I would respawn, I would go up and like maybe climb into the window to the left of the choke point and just see like 3-on-3 red-on-blue Genjis just dueling it out and just have my pick of, and it was really good moving target practice and also really good like there's enemy Hanzos on the back line back there kind of ducking and dodging their snipes while trying to snipe them as well. So I think the cooldown stuff, that gives you kind of bad habits, but as far as gameplay mechanics go, trying to catch Genjis and stuff, and also there's always just a Genji up in your business and you need to outduel a Genji. So...
Which is not fun!
Dude, no, I got some really good Genji up in my biz duels, though. I would just be like minor pulling arrows all over the place and throwing in melees. And I got a couple of Genjis who were up in my biz.
If you're in the Hanzo, and like I can talk shade about this competitive mode or this weekly brawl because I played this in closed beta. This was one of the ones that they cycled through, and it was like my first game in it. I was like half an hour long, which is insane for this. Like it was just back.
Holy.
Yeah, it was insane. Like, and then after that, I was like, "This is boring. I am done with this one," because it would be like one kill, deflect, 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 deflect. No one attack, no one attack, deflect, deflect, deflect. Okay, he's back with his ultimate. Now I have mine. And I just like had zero fun. I was surprised that this one made it into actual.
Yeah. The ultimates charge at 75%.
There is a moment I have to say, there were some cool moments because this whole thing felt like a freaking Ninja Clan fight. Right?
It was goofy.
It felt like I was in Naruto. I haven't even watched Naruto.
Yeah, right.
There was a moment where like we came into point B with like 3 Genjis, 3 ultimates. We all pull our swords out. It felt really good.
It was goofy.
It was really goofy. One more anime moment we had was at one point I watched Brendan and one of the opposing team. They did the classic, like the 2 people both use their shifts and whoosh, tap the air, and then one of them dies and one.
Oh no way!
That's awesome. That's so great.
So, I mean, that's kind of fun, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe you had some fun, but I still think it's a dumpster mode for dumpster people. But that's probably the Molten Core talking, not me. So we're moving. We've talked a lot tonight, so I wanna get directly to one of our last points, which is a resource that we found called Watcher.gg, which is getting a lot of community press across all the podcasts and on Reddit. For a really great source to kind of log in and to check your standings as far as the Overwatch community goes. So this is like Hot logs on steroids. As far as anyone can tell, what's happening here is they're scraping your Overwatch profile from Blizzard and then just aggregating all that data and then placing it in a nice, easy way to look at. And it shows you your win rates for characters, your placements as characters against other characters in or other players. It does show you your KDA, which it probably shouldn't, but it does show important things like win rates, KDA.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which you don't really want to know, like kill, death, assists, like ratio, which you really shouldn't be concentrating in Overwatch. But it's an awesome kind of tool to kind of like watch yourself and feel like, oh, what am I actually good at? What am I not actually good at? And kind of nerd out and get hyper competitive with. Have you guys checked out this service at all?
You see, I was told about a service called MasterOverwatch.com earlier in the week, and it's a similar service, exactly the same. I put in my battle tag, but they require at least 4 hours played on a hero to actually get any data.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't actually have that. I play every hero, and I also don't play that much. But I've not used watcher.gg yet, but I will.
Definitely
Yeah.
worth logging in and taking a look at.
Yeah, I've been checking it out. It's very cool to see all these stats. I was also using the other one, Master Overwatch, which seems like just very similar sort of website.
Yeah.
It gives you a rank out of all for each character out of all the players who are playing that character, which is kind of cool. Like, it's cool if you log on and see that you actually have a pretty good rank. But the more that we've been paying attention to this other one, Master Overwatch, it's kind of appeared that higher rank kind of equals time played, because the people that we know that have the highest ranks have a ton of hours on a single character. And if you're trying to play a variety of characters and you're trying to win games and not get a good KDA, I don't know if you're going to do well. I don't know if it's worthwhile to pay too much attention to these rankings. But they're very cool to see all these stats.
I think Blizzard took a good measure in not showing us these KDAs in the first place, because if they're going to raise our rank in something, then we're going to stop playing objectives and we're going to stop winning games because of it. And these things are cool, totally, but I think the best thing we can wait for is competitive, where we're actually seeded into a thing. I don't care about my ranking on... It's like when you look at hot slogs, it's really inaccurate in a lot of things. It takes games way far into the past and weights them way higher than they should be when Blizzard's MMR actually is weighting them. And I don't think we should pay too much attention to it, but it is neat to see how you're doing.
Yeah, it's cool to see all these stats. Like, there's way more stats than you have in game.
Nerds love numbers, man.
Yeah, but
I love
I'm skeptical of taking this too seriously, and I think once we have ranked, that's going to scratch this itch.
Yeah.
And when we have a real number that is with your whole team that you guys have earned, and then you're not going to have to focus on this and try to raise this. And the fact that I haven't really examined this website, but like for the score, your like character score, I don't know what the algorithm is, and I don't know if that's available.
Yeah.
And if it's not, then that's pretty like, well, what do we know what they're taking into account?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just some nice tools to kind of find out where we stand and like where we need to improve. And if there's like a drastic character where your like win rate is like absolutely terrible, you can be like, maybe I need to play this character a bit more to understand their puzzle a little better.
Yeah.
Or even to elaborate on that, Eric, maybe if all of your supports are bad, maybe work on your support play kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
That's a really good point.
So that is time for us this week. I do want to mention quickly before we kind of head out that if you are looking to get into competitive play, there was 2 tournaments that you should look for VODs on, so video on demand. There was the Overwatch Agents Rising by Gosu Gamers. I won't spoil it, but the games here are really good, and you get some really high production value. That one was specifically for the NA scene down in California, and then Take TV also had a tournament over in Europe. Production value was pretty good there, but I really would recommend checking out both if you're looking for some high level play for the video on demand on those ones. Next week, we're going to save some time. We're going to dig deep directly into the esports side of Overwatch, where that's growing to, and where we want to see it, because we went to Heroes of the Dorm in Seattle, which was an awesome event. So we had a great time. So I think we're all excited to see like where the spectator aspect of this game is going to be, and whether this is a spot that we can kind of like nerd out and be weirdos over and have another wonderful time. And I'm sure the infamous occasion that was the Panama Hotel will come up on this podcast.
Fuck!
Don't
Panama
get me
Hotel.
started on the Panama.
Okay.
No, keep it.
Next time.
Order. Yeah, in the next episode, we may go into that in our esports talk, where we talk about what an esport event can be and what it can be for the fans beyond just going out and having some fun and watching games. It's definitely one hell of a lot more fun than that, and a hell of a lot worse as well. If you stay at the Panama Hotel in Seattle, throwing shade. I hate the Panama. But thanks everyone for tuning in. We are Broverwatch, the Overwatch podcast, You can find us online. You can find us on the Twitters at Broverwatch Show, I believe, and the Facebook follows the same.
Facebook.com/Broverwatch Show.
Yeah, pop
Email
in.
us also at broverwatchshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, email us with any questions, and we would love to do a
Questions,
question
comments, so we will respond. We will play it on our podcast, stuff like that.
So thanks for all the home diggity dogs that dropped by and gave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Those all really help us out and get found and get noticed as a bunch of weirdos that drink drinks and hurt everyone else's MMR.
Yeah. Hey guys, just at the end of this episode, let's go play some drunken Overwatch.
Oh, I cannot wait to play some crazy games with you guys. Oh, shit! Should we talk about overporn? Or should we just watch? Or should we just watch some?
Can we just drop the fucking mic or what?